Okay, so there are two incidents that involve girls in my life where you feature prominently.
I did?
Oh yes. Oh, you feature very prominently, and I'm going somewhere. So this might have been circa 2004. This was when we used to go to Lagbaja at the end of every month. So we'd go and perform and all of that. So that Friday you weren't going, right? So for some reason, I don't remember what I came to get in your house. So I arrived around 10:30 with the girl that I was dating at that time. And so,
are you sure this was 2004?
Yeah, madam.
No, it can't be.
Why?
It cannot be because in 2004 I was no longer in Okwebi.
No, you was in Omoli.
Okay, I was okay. So this
was Omoli.
So fine.
No, it was at night.
So let's
like in Omoli. Oh, you were already married.
Yes.
You were already married to my sister then.
Yes. Okay.
You were married. So in fact, that's why I said you were in bed when we entered the Omoli house.
Yes.
In fact, you were in your pajamas already.
Okay.
So you came down the stairs. I forget what I came to get. So you came down the stairs, and of course, I wanted my date to meet you.
Okay.
So she came in and all of that. And as soon as you saw her, right in front of me there, you looked at her and you looked at me and you said, I envy you. Said, I envy you. I'm like, why? You said, new love, young love. Man, I will never feel that again. And we all laughed, right? And she was so taken by your charm and all of that. And I thought I understood what you were saying. And I laughed about it and all of that. But now I understand 11 years.
I didn't even know what I said at the time. So.
Oh yeah, that's why you took one look at her and said, man, I envy you, young love. I will never feel that again. Yeah. And now I understand. Yeah. I think about you a lot. I'm like, man, I will never feel that again too. No butterflies in my stomach. No, will she call the next day? No, will you? I mean, none of that.
It's conquest. So you've. I don't know how much you know about Alexander the Great. It's conquest. You look at territories ahead of you and like, man, I wish I can just conquer these territories, move my empire to where the Turks are, and then you do it. And then you sit there in the palace and there's no fight left. You look to your right and your left like, is there nothing to do anymore? So the Turks are answerable to me. And I said, yeah. So she's answerable to me. And I said, yes. All right, okay.
So now I'll tell you the second incident before I ask you the question. So this was a couple of years. This had been a year later after that. So a year and a half later. So we go and see the premiere of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie movie at Silverbird. This was when Silverbird Galleria was the only movie house in Nigeria. So it was a big deal, red carpet and all of that. So we went, you, me, my sister, all of that. So I was dating somebody else, at least that evening. And so we
oh my God.
So we're there that evening. And so it's all the, all of people were greeting and all of that before we go and see the movie. And then a minute, I think she turns to buy popcorn or something. And then you look at me, you look at her, you look back at me and say, I'm proud of you. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And we laughed and all of that. And here is the thing for me. You are who you are. And you've managed to keep this, you've been scandal free, so to speak. I mean, there are.
What do you mean by that?
I mean,
I've had my fair share.
Yeah, I mean, you've had your fair share, but where's the root of the scandal? I mean, it's always somebody throwing up something in the air that never sticks, usually. With your endowments, I mean, people who don't even have half of what you do have, I mean, we know what goes on and all of that. You must get propositioned on a daily basis. How have you been able to keep it on the straight and narrow?
I smile and I smile through it all and try to be civil, because there are pitfalls. They're like, not pitfalls, they're like mines set all around you. So you have to be very careful. You thread carefully. And if you manage to thread carefully long enough, you'll master it. So it becomes a dance. I think it was Muhammad Ali that was asked once how he has managed to remain a champ. for such a long time. He said it's not avoiding the women, but avoiding the clubs. And so in a sense, I avoid the clubs as well. I go when it's very important, if it's not work or if I'm not entertaining people from out of town or anything like that, or just having a good time with a close circle of friends who protect my flanks. I just don't show up. When I show up, it is because my flanks are protected. I'm sure to be able to live there unscathed, no matter what happens. Yeah, it's good to have a good inner circle. It doesn't matter how small in the eyes of the public they might be, but my inner circle, in wherever I find myself, is very good. They're just plain ordinary folks like yourself, but they will protect me.
Okay, so this question is almost like that one, but it's different. Being faithful in marriage is not. Look, I have to say this word before I'm misquoted by somebody. Teju Babyface said, "Being faithful is hard." That's not what I'm saying.
It is hard.
It is hard. It's not every day.
Because if you're in the kind of line of work that we are in, it's very hard. Because let's face it, every one of us that is married, we are the target. We are the target. I mean, look at how women are. I mean, how can you escape it? Women are like Delilah. They are like Jezebel. They prepare. And the only way you can perpetuate the real intentions of the enemy is to constantly aim at the image of God or the symbol of authority in any home. You shoot it down. It's like being a general. It's like being a commander in a battlefield. You drop him and the enemy, the battalion scatters.
So this is what I heard though. This is what I heard, that even the women themselves may not know, but they are probably the ones who come after us, very determinedly, who want to make it happen. They are probably tools in a greater scheme that they may not know, and it's about taking down the head of the family.
That's it. That's what the mission is.
Wow.
That's what the mission is. So it's very difficult. You have to get to a point where your wife understands what she's up against as well.
Oh
yes, because if your wife is not up to speed on what she's up against, then your flanks will be left open. Oh yeah. So if there is no harmony on that field, I saw TD Jakes speak about this and I was so impressed. He said, "If you want to know who's got my back, jump me."
I think I heard that.
Yeah. It's like, jump me.
He said, "Mama bear."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It spoke to me. It spoke to me, and for me, that is what defines my life. Family defines my life. You don't touch my family, and if I can react in the way that I react, when you touch my family, then my family's got to be able to react the exact same way. I was having a discussion with I think it was my cousin earlier today, and we're talking about my cousin or with anyway, it was in the company of people I was with today at lunch, and I think it boiled down to that you have to have people who understand. Okay, yeah. I was talking with a cousin of mine on the phone. He called from Houston, and he was talking about look at how people support each other in the examples that you can find. And just imagine for 1 second if we all, just the way black mothers used to protect their sons in the African American community. Look at Shaq in all his height and everything, strong mother. Look at LeBron, strong mother. Look at this, strong mother. Look at this, strong mother. Look at this, strong mother. Just imagine that we can have that replicated at every level in the Nigerian example. And for every time a Nigerian sees another Nigerian, we are kindred spirits and we watch out for each other, imagine how strong as a community we can be. My brother tells me, my cousin tells me the story of him being in Malaysia for a very long time, and he was struggling, and he had landed in Malaysia as an immigrant, and his money had finished, and he was kicked out of his hotel, and he was just wandering the street, and he sees a black guy walking towards him, and he looked at him and he said, spoke pidgin English to the guy like, my name is so and so, I'm from Nigeria, and the guy looks at him and said, this your pidgin, black should be worry boy, you know. And he said, I be worry boy, my name is Damijo. Damijo, my I said, I be allow Rupiki now. And they connect, and the guy says, come. And he took him in to his house and stayed for 3-6 months or so before he arrived in the United States. There's something about us who come from worry. When we meet outside, we would die for each other. I don't know how the young folks are doing it now, but it's what you see between me and Ali. It's what you see between me and AY. You know, it's what you see between me and Bovie. I don't know how the younger ones are doing it, but Ali can't call me that he has a problem and I'll sit back. I can't. I mean, AY can't call me that he has a problem and I'll sit back. And I think the same for myself. I can't call any of them and they'll sit back. I think that we need to replicate that on different levels, and then we can be a stronger unit. Because we are constantly under attack. Because we are, God, it pleased God to make us heads of our families, and we are the ones that are under attack. If you get the head of the family, you get the family.
So I mean, what will the woman who knows this, what will she do? What will be a man? You know,
protect a man. Yeah, protect a man. He will fall sometimes and fall really bad.
Oh, really? He will fall sometimes.
Yes, really bad, but he has to be able to help to pick the man up.
But why do I feel like in this day that we live now, if a man falls, that seems to be the end of everything all of a sudden?
Because they do not understand what roles they have to play. It's not a competition. It's a partnership.
Nah, these girls are not. Look, Pops, look, you're probably talking old school. The women now, women now is like if he cheats on me once, if he falls once, that is it. I am out.
They are not grounded because they consume in bit sizes. You know, you have to be grounded. You have to understand the concept of what you are involved in. It's not old school. It's nature. It's nature. You have a school of animals. They protect the territories. They mark it. You come in, there is a war. There is a fight. You don't come into my family.
So this is what you've said. I mean, I don't want to misconstrue you.
Okay.
You're married. Let me lay the foundation with this. My father said to me shortly before I got married, which was shortly before he died. He said that the type of woman that I wish you would marry, the type of woman I want for you, is then he switched to Yoruba because he used to do that a lot.
It's better when it's spoken in the language, in the original language.
Yeah. He said, obìnrin tí mo fẹ́ kó fẹ́, lóbìnrin tí ó rí ọlọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ń bẹ̀, which meant a woman who will see you in the corridor beyond, that corridor there. Tí ó rí ọlọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ń bẹ̀, tó ọmọ kiss obìnrin mi, you'll be kissing another woman.
Yes.
And she will ignore and pretend like she didn't see it. He said, that's the type of woman I want for you. He said, you know why? He said, because you are a star. And you see, it might be hard and a difficult ask for you to go through your entire life without challenges. You need a woman who will understand that. Is that what you just said?
That's what I have. That's the rock. That's the rock of my being. That's my stay. You know, I have the best wife in the world because it has to be. That's the reason why I can go out there and, for lack of a better language, and flex. Because I know who is behind me. Now that does not take away what your responsibility to the woman is, because remember, when Eve ate the apple, nothing happened, right? You are also, it's that's why I said it's a partnership. A woman that woman that your father prayed for you for to have, you will only find him when she finds in you the protector also that her own father said to her that she will find. This is the point where you say word. Yeah. So it's a partnership. If you don't give me any reason to feel like I'm a part of this union, then if I see you kissing along the corridor, I will feel very bad, and I will not pretend like I'm not seeing you. I will say that is what you love to do, because that is what defines you.
You know that right now I have goosebumps, because right now a whole lot of things about how you deal with your wife just sit in place for me. You are the man that if you had 2 cars at home and one was a brand new Range Rover,
yes, that's my wife's.
That's your wife's. That's
yes.
You're that guy who gives her the better of everything before you give yourself.
Yeah. The first time I made the biggest money in my life, I told when my manager brought the check to me, I held the check and I said, I gave him the check and I said, pay it into my wife's account.
Wow. I
was like, Papa, I said, pay it into my wife's account. And I gave your sister the money and she said, oh, you paid money into my account, what's it for? Is it for your children or? I said, no, it's for you. He said, what do you want me to do with it? I said, it's for you, anything you want to do with it.
That's it.
Because I have to be able to show to her that this is the biggest money that I've ever earned in my life, right? I could buy a car, I could go on holidays. And I just said, you know what? This is the person that made it possible. So I gave it to her. And typical way, she will not like flutter and like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I know how she is as well. It used to bother me when we just started. I'll travel, I come back with like 2 suitcases, and 1.5 of the suitcases are on, and then I was like, put it on, and she was just saying, thank you, put it there. I'm like, did you like it? I liked it. Hey, look, I have done some crazy shit. But because she also knows that I am remorseful, I'm a work in progress. So like I said, if your wife doesn't feel that you are also taking responsibility in the partnership, she wouldn't be the woman you want. So it's a two-way street. And I constantly pray that I am the man that she wants. And she used to say something to me before we got married. Because I always say to her, the biggest problem I have, I don't think I deserve to marry you. That's the biggest thing. And she was like, it's okay, it's fine. And I don't know if I told you, I said to her, I said, if you change, I will kill you myself. Because she was too good. She was too good. I was an eligible young man, and I had been married, I had lost a wife, and everybody was around, and and she would come to the house sometimes, there were like 10 women all over the place. And I'll look at her and I'll tell my younger brother, go drop her. I'll say, go home. And she would just turn around and go home. And then everybody leaves my home, and I'm like, I'll call my younger brother, I say, go tell her that I said she should please come back. And she would turn right back and come. I'm like, why are you so nice? I don't get it. Why don't you say something? I was really afraid to marry her because she was too nice. And I kept saying to her, I hope you won't change when I marry you. She said, no. So even at the lowest point in my life, when I look at her and I say, I'm so sorry. And she's like, do I have somewhere I'm going? And that doesn't cause me to want to sin more or to want to do shit more, but it builds more responsibility for me to be able to say, you know what, you have to, slow down.
So does it get easier now that you're older?
Oh yeah. It's easier now. I mean, she looks at me. You know how I love my Friday nights, and so if I'm at home certain Fridays, and she looks at me and it's like, what happened? No whiskey today, no cigar today, no jazz music today or something. Go and join your friends. I want to sleep. So yeah, it's easier. I mean, we've lived alone together for like 11 years. No kids, no house help, nothing.
Yeah, that was the nirvana that you always wanted now. I mean, and now you have it.
Yeah.
Somewhere at the back of my mind while you're saying all of this, I can't help just hearing Ali's voice in my ear. And it was because you mentioned Okwebi. When you were in Okwebi, when armed robbers came to the house, Ali, for some reason, Ali likes the part where he say, I don't know what happened. He said that they wipe bros.
With my stereo.
Yes, they wipe your hand with. They wipe bro's hand with stereo. Apparently, you were cheeky or something.
I can't even remember what I said, but I just knew they just slammed they took my turntable and slammed it on my head.
Hi. Thank you for watching this video thus far. I know at this point you want to keep enjoying the video and you don't want me interrupting, but this is as far as this comes. So first of all, again, thank you. So at this point, you have three options. The first thing to do will be to subscribe to our podcast and then listen to the entire interview uninterrupted. So you can do that. Just go to the Teju Babyface Deep Dive podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Or secondly, you could become one of our members, one of our YouTube members. Just subscribe to the membership below. Our members get to watch the full videos uninterrupted. Okay? Or third, if you do none of those two, you could wait around for a couple of days for us to keep posting the clips of this interview. But I can assure you that we're not going to post everything. We're just going to keep posting clips here and there. Obviously, of course, I'd prefer that you do number one and number two. Subscribe to the podcast, download and listen to the audio, and also become one of our members. That's how you show your support for us. Thank you very much. God bless you. Wait for the next one.